Oh, I see. Okay, now we can get... Oh, what a good picture. Okay.
I know.
So, okay. Okay, first of all, I know how to copy pasta. It's dead. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Standby for Action. Sorry for the delay. My father's camera is still not working because every person in his household has to stream, I think, 4K television on every monitor available, which is like 17 of them. So there's just no way.
Shelby and Trinity Catherine and Trinity are both definitely watching video right now. I'm not sure what Shelby's doing.
Like separately, like not even the same video.
Yes. No, not even.
Yeah.
Plus, the garage on the extender, so that's not helping either.
I'm sure it's not. So instead, we've got this lovely picture of my father holding my child, as well as some very confused-looking teenager behind you. Seriously, I don't know what's going on to the right of this image, but it looks terrifying. So hi everybody. My name is Matthew. I am lead developer for Project 2050 and Project Arcana with Legendary Pants. This is my father, Shawn. Shawn, say hi.
Hi.
All right, perfect. If any of you caught the hype on this broadcast, you would have heard that this would be the last time we talk about Project 2050. That is absolutely true, although perhaps a little more dramatic than was really necessary. We have...
we're all about drama.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we love ourselves some drama. We have officially renamed our project. It is, instead of Project 2050, called Dad?
Code 2050.
Yes, Code 2050.
Right? Is that right?
Yes, that's right. Good job. You got it right that time. I should probably pull up an image of that or something.
You should. It's...
I've got it.
Down the LP. Yeah, I was going to say it's in LP.
So go ahead and talk a little bit about why the name change and what it means to them.
So I don't know whether the primary reason that we need to change the name was because Project 2050 eventually it will no longer be a project. It will be a completed thing. So it had to have a different name at some point. And the other reason was because Project 2050 is already a thing out in the world.
Yes.
So we wanted something that was new and different and all our own.
Now, I will admit, I did do some research on Project 2050 before we started using it as a working title, and it has nothing to do with anything we were doing. It's some kind of low-income housing financial institution, which, hey, that's an admirable effort, but they took our name first, so we had to change it. I was tired of being on the third page of Google for Project 2050. So, yep, here's the logo I designed, which I am so immensely proud of because it's the only piece of art I've ever done that did not come out shitty. And I had a lot of help on that from you there, Dad.
Yeah, I was going to say, we designed this. I mean...
Yeah, but the design, yes, we did together, but I did the implementation, and I suck at that. So I'm going to be riding this achievement to my grave. So there it is.
Tattooed on my wiener.
It's gonna look weird when you know what? Never mind. Anyways, so today we're going to talk about Code 2050, which is something that I need to get used to saying because I'm still trying to say project. We are going to focus on computers and the net. I'm not sure how many people who are watching this. There are going to be about 12. Are aware, but my father is actually a professional real-life programmer. He knows entirely too much about computers. When did you get your start in COBOL, Dad?
In COBOL, 1980, early 1982, I attended the Marine Corps' COBOL programming school in Quantico, Virginia.
1982, so the computers were actually just you open the box and there was a pterodactyl chiseling shit.
Actually, interestingly, You're not far off in one respect. These things actually had the old stacked platter hard drives. So you would, when you would get a stack of hard drives, it was like they were like 8 or 12-inch metal discs, and they would come in a stacked 6 high, I think, and they would come in a round clear thing like a cake carrier, like a round cake carrier with a handle on top.
Yep.
And you would put them inside. You would open this lid, put them inside, and pull the cover off. Close the cake carrier thing. Close the lid and initialize the drive. That I don't remember what the nomenclature was, but that is what we had. So yeah.
And that's about the contemporary technology we're going to use in 2050, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That and the pterodactyl.
Yeah, exactly. It's a living. Which I think is what they all said in Flintstones. So anyways, now as much as it seems like a programmer would be a great resource for planning and kind of executing a game system involving computers, it's pretty much been a fucking nightmare working with you on this.
I have to say the same is true of you, and the reason being that you have, I think, a much better, a very strong foundation in computers. How old were you when you first had free run of a computer?
3, I think, is when I started Reader Rabbit and Math Blaster on that old 286.
Yes, which was, I think, our third computer in the house. There has been a computer in our house since before you were born.
Yes, well, because of course my mother is also a COBOL programmer.
Yes, well, and we've coded in other things over the years. COBOL is only one of the things I code on a daily basis in right now today. But that, being beside the point, no coder is purely one thing.
Right.
But anyway, so I personally think that you are a little too, I don't want to say reliant upon, but I think you assume that other people can ad lib and understand things like this better than they can, just because you have an innate ability to do so.
So you're suggesting that my upbringing as the son of a couple of programmers leads me to believe that everyone has a level of computing literacy that they do not.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. And yeah, and if you recall from our latest shouting match, like just a couple days ago now.
Yesterday, actually.
Yeah, it was yesterday. My analogy was when you said, hey, 5e doesn't describe rules for anything like this to this degree, and my point was because there's a cultural understanding of things like sword and sorcery campaigns that everyone has a kind of a shared knowledge, and I don't believe that is necessarily true, or at least I'm not confident enough that that's true, that I want to just throw out 6 rules and say go.
Right, which I guess in and amongst these the computer literacy discussion is the fact that I seem to have a little more faith in DMs and players' ability to do things on their own than you do.
Well, that may be. And again, I'd rather provide 10. I'd rather provide 10 things and have them use 5 than provide 3 and have them need 5.
Right.
But that's just me.
Right. And so with that kind of background information, this is where we've been kind of working on computers in 2050. Actually, your apartment analogy, which I think got cut from one of the articles, was probably best if you would like to launch into that, and we'll go from there.
Apartment analogy? I don't remember that one.
The IKEA catalog analogy.
Oh. Yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah, my analogy being, my point being that Matthew and I both believed in a turnkey solution, but where his turnkey, like a turnkey house where you could just walk in and move in, but where my turnkey was a house with furniture that you could arrange. Matthew's turnkey was a house with an IKEA catalog.
Yeah, but at least my solution allows you to get furniture you actually want rather than dealing with the furniture that just happens to be there.
Yeah, but my solution gives you a place to goddamn sleep and sit down and eat.
You can sleep on a floor just fine. And IKEA's got pretty late hours.
Yeah, super late.
Right. So, and that's where, if anyone's actually been reading and following these posts, you know that Father and I refer to the fact that we argue about this shit constantly, and we really do. But it's how we work, and at the end of the day, we can still get a beer with each other usually. But it has been back and forth on this a lot, and I think we both realized, probably during the discussion yesterday, that the problem is that the answer lies in the middle, not on either of our ends of this.
And I've been thinking about that, and because once we kind of stumbled onto the answer, really the rest of it came together very quickly. So yeah, I think it was there, just waiting for us to kind of find it.
Just waiting for us to get our heads out of each other's asses.
Or yeah, and the other thing being was that I have to say, impressed and pleased with how quickly we basically moved from our individual positions to this meeting in the middle, and made that change in direction. So yeah, I'm actually, and I mentioned I did want to talk about this, but yeah, I'm actually really pleased how that came out.
With that article?
Yes. And we're going to...
Yeah, why don't, if you want to take a few minutes now and just kind of give a summary and what you like about it.
Okay. So basically tomorrow morning, for the morning push, we are going to be publishing our... Basically, we're calling it the Quick and Dirty Guide to Hacking. And it is a simple, repeatable, and I think understandable process and actually set of steps that will provide a framework that you can add computer hacking to a campaign. And I think it's 10 minutes work to read through this thing and to go, oh, okay. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to get that out there, and I hope it is as useful as Of course, we're going to find out on Friday.
Yes, we will. Well, we'll see how much hacking actually happens on Friday, but right. more on Friday actually in a little bit. But yeah, so so after our discussion, what you basically did was instead of making sure that there were as thorough a toolkit as possible, we said, okay, look, let's make this fun for everyone. Let's boil down what a hack is to a set of discrete steps. And I think you've got 5 steps. It's only 5 steps. It's only a few. Hold on, I'm going to see. I read the article 3 times editing it, so let's see if I can fucking remember these things. Step 1 is connect, which means you have to actually talk to either the device or the network you're trying to get onto. Step 2 is infiltrate. That means not only are you connected, but you actually have access to it.
Yeah, no, you're already off.
Am I already fucking it up? Oh man, I got to step 2.
So step 1 is connect.
Right.
Okay. Step 2 is seek. So basically, you're going to go out and whatever it is that you're looking for, you're going to start looking for.
Right.
Now,
right.
Step 3 is defeat. And this is I don't want to say optional step, but you may not have to defeat anything. And defeating means that you've encountered some sort of security or countermeasure or something, and that you need to take care of it. A countermeasure might be something as simple as asking for a password, or it might be an offensive program that's attempting to crash your rig. So that's step 3 is defeat.
And that, of course, step 3 would be the time where you are most at risk of being discovered. Because when somebody's asking for a password, if you put the wrong password in a few times, an alert's going to go to somebody about that.
Right.
If somehow you try to get unauthorized access and the computer knows you're doing it, they're going to tell somebody. So that's the step where you're probably going to be found out.
Yes. Now, steps 2 and 3, seek and defeat, might be, depending on the situation, you might have to execute more than one time. And the example being, if you're trying to find a specific, those of anybody on this call who's a Gibson fan, if you're trying to pull a particular or find a particular piece of equipment in a vast storage area, you might have to look again and again and again to find it. So you may have to repeat those steps, but that's fine. That's kind of built in the system. However, eventually, theoretically, you will succeed in finding what it is that you need to find. And at that point, you will get to step 4, which is achieve. And that means you have now hacked or recovered or downloaded or whatever it is that you need to do to get those fat loots, and so you have essentially gotten to your goal. You've achieved your goal, which leads us to step 5. Do you remember step 5?
Exfiltrate, which is why I thought there was an infiltrate, because I thought exfiltrate was a cool word you made up.
No, exfiltrate's an actual word. Yeah, so once you've got whatever it is that you're looking for, you may have to back all the way out of the system, or you may have to leave the physical space that you have had to get to in order to hook up to the network or device that you're trying to hack. As I point out in the article, it may not be as easy as unplugging your rig and walking away. You may actually, that may in fact be theoretically, depending on the GM, the hardest part of the whole run.
Absolutely. And so, and to give you an example, if I'm just going in to steal some data and that's all I care about, sure, it might be easy to go in, copy the data, and then just pull my rig and leave. But what if I'm trying to, say, plant some incriminating evidence on a corporate CEO so that he gets arrested and brings down the company because another corporation hired me to do so? Well, now I can't just plant the data. That's the achieve. That's the step 4. I also have to make sure that no one knows that I planted it. I might have to change a log file for the file itself. I might have to change an access log for me getting on, things like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I just thought of that right now. That's how awesome I am.
That's interesting because that has been in my description of the step for entire time. So you read it, you just didn't.
Well, see, that's how the subconscious works, man. And now I get to take credit for it.
Wow.
Yep. So anyways, now that I've been that awesome and you haven't done shit on this project, now you did mention what you're calling countermeasures. Do you want to go into those for a couple minutes?
Sure. So a countermeasure is roughly the computer equivalent of a trap. Not to put it in the very easiest terms. And the rules for them, the game mechanics of a countermeasure, are basically the same. Use the rules of traps. So if you go, and we have a link to it in the article. If you go into the 5E piece, online compendium on traps, it's got a very nice, very simple, easy to understand laydown of how you scale the traps for the group and what they're trying to do, and how you kind of even construct a trap. Now, obviously, we're not talking a pit or a statue that shoots flame or any of the kind of physical traps that you're going to run into in the world. We're talking, as I think I said before, things like attempting to crash your rig, or one of my favorites is some sort of blast of noise and light through your rig that gives you a debilitating headache, and you have to take immediate rest in order to recover and be fully functional again, so on and so forth. Stuff like this. Maybe the trap is just an alert goes out to corporate security, and now you've got a van full of thugs or tough guys coming down at you, so on and so forth. So and of course, obviously, these traps can be triggered. They can be triggered by you ask for a login ID and a password, and you mess that up, or it doesn't recognize your network credentials, or you spend really almost anything. You spend too long sitting in a particular data farm, pulling data out. You do too many scans of the network. And we threw out a handful of ideas just to kind of give DMs some ideas at this point for what they might want to do. At some point down the road, we'll probably, almost certainly, flesh a lot of this out and provide some background material just to be a little handier and more player or DM friendly, I guess would be the term.
Right, and just like the trap section on the Roll20 compendium, we will also include some examples of countermeasures that you can just grab, do what you need to, and plug right into your campaign without even touching them if you don't want to. And of course, we've only really added one kind of tool kit when it comes to computers, and that's the computers tool. And then of course the hacker gets the hacker's rig, which is just a fancier version of the same thing. So one of the things that I wanted to make clear is that when we're looking for countermeasures, we're not doing the same role over and over and over and over again. It's going to use a lot of the same things that traps use. So, for example, if you're doing a scan of a node just to see if there's some countermeasures on it, your DM might ask you for a perception roll. The data's in front of you, but are you perceptive enough to pick up on it? Or you might be rolling an investigation roll to really thoroughly kind of go through the data and see if you can find those countermeasures, just like with a trap.
Right. So the other kind of thing I'm really kind of pleased with is how scripting works.
Oh, did you like that? I was worried that you hated that.
No. I'm actually happy with using the. So anyway, scripting. So scripting or programming, coding an app, whatever you want to call it, because that's basically what it is. But scripting seemed like a good word.
Scripting's the new agey cool word for it.
Yeah, so that's what we're calling it. Scripting is a way to automate things anything you can do with a script, you could do yourself by punching keys. Anything punching keys, you can write a script to do. Obviously, the more complex the thing. And the way we kind of equate this is the more human interaction or human decision making it would take, the harder or more difficult it is to write such a script. But if a hacker is getting ready to make a run against some corporation or some whoever, it doesn't really matter. If he takes a little lead time and preps a script, or maybe he goes out and buys one, or he has a buddy who lends him one or whatever, he can increase chances to do what he needs to do because the script's going to be more accurate, and it'll give him some bonuses when he runs into something. So you've got a better chance to defeat the countermeasures. You've got a better chance to scan for the data you're looking for. You've got a better chance to hack the CEO's car so it drives off a cliff or whatever.
Right. So when we kind of set up the script system, what we're talking about is, for lack of a better term, items, just like any other item you could buy off the market in town, which will grant you small bonuses to your checks when you're doing things in the digital realm. So a regular search script may give you a +2 when you're doing an investigation for certain kinds of data. But then the scripts have a couple of tiers, 3 tiers to be specific. They have the kind of general script that I just described, a +2. They have a language-specific script, so if I'm trying to find data in a BizOS operating system, using that language system that we kind of made the fuck up, that might be a +4 because that script is going to be a little more tailored for what you're actually doing. And it doesn't do anything for you if you're not in a BizOS system. However, of course, because it's better, it's going to cost more money, take more time to program. And then, of course, the last tier is, let's say I'm trying to hack Sony or Google. I've got a script written specifically for their system. Sony, does things a little differently than Google, does a little thing differently than Microsoft, et cetera, et cetera. So I have a script that's tailored to running commands on Sony systems, and that might give me a +6 on all my checks to deal with them.
Right. And I thought that was a brilliant solution. Frankly, it was easy to apply, and applying the crafting rules to it. And that's something we're kind of we haven't really come up with an idea how we want to handle it yet. So it's going to be kind of up to the GMs. But the crafting system allows you to add 5 GP worth of value per week?
Per day, I believe. Per day. However, we don't know at this point how much a script costs or how much it's worth to be a +2 on a script. Right.
So that's gonna kind of have to be worked through as we go along. I would expect that it won't be cheap, and that it would take, say, several days or several people's effort over a single day, because you can stack the effort to create a script the same way you can to craft anything else if you've got a bunch of qualified people. I would still imagine it would take several days at least to upgrade the script to the next tier or to write one from scratch.
With like 3 or 4 people working on it, yeah, absolutely, at least several days.
Yeah, and going back to our holy of holies, which is Neuromancer, I think it took Case a couple 2 or 3 weeks to get to where he was ready to do the SenseNet run.
Yeah, I mean, if you read the short story "Burning Chrome," they were working for like a couple of months before they were ready to run.
Exactly right. So yeah, I don't expect that stuff will be cheap. So one of Matthew's concerns, and I shared it, although I was willing to keep it in mind and work it in later on, is his very real concern that, and very appropriate, that the action involving the hacker would basically freeze out the remainder of the group. And one of the ways we've taken care of that is to build in the whole latency thing, where if you are too many steps away from wherever you're trying to get, then you're going to slow down and your DCs are going to go up. However, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
However, one of the other ways that we're kind of involving the entire team is, and Matthew talked about the tier 3, where a script is specifically designed or set up for a particular company. One of the ways that you would make that happen is that the team that the hacker is supporting would have to do physical investigation and so on and so forth of the company or of the target. So you may have to go out there and find somebody who is on the inside that can give you a hint or some clues as thing you're looking for is, and you can save some time and have a better shot at the run, or somebody who you can threaten or bribe or blackmail into giving you an access code or something along those lines. So all those things can go into the scripting process, the prepping phase of the operation, and involve the team. The hacker is going to be theoretically working on his script. Hey, he's got a couple other people who are going to be out beating the bushes and out in bars or whorehouses or whatever, and
yeah,
probably Starbucks.
Yeah, lots of Starbucks for corporate Joes. But yeah, because the one thing I want to avoid is that situation where everyone watches the DM and the one hacker player talk about what he's doing for 45 minutes to an hour. It's just not fun for everybody else.
No. It can be. I mean, I've seen it be fun where you send the halfling thief ahead, and everybody's like, "Oh please, oh please, oh please," and then it gets squished. So that can be fun.
Yeah, but that's everyone rooting for the halfling to be squished.
Yeah.
Like, oh please, fucking Tiny Baggins, just die. We gotta get Steve to re-roll a less shitty character.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is what we're avoiding. Now we did post an article on the hacker character. We laid out it is an archetype of rogue, so we laid out the rules for that. All of that is of course tentative. We're gonna need to do some pretty serious playtesting just to make sure it's balanced, although I've seen some of the archetypes that exist out in the world that Wizards itself has actually published, and they're all over the goddamn map, so I'm not really worried about it. The one thing to keep in mind is that a hacker is a rogue first, which means that for all the good he's doing in the computers, he's still going to stab the fuck out of somebody if he's in combat, and that's just the way it goes.
Yep.
Using the playtest as a segue, Friday. So this Friday, and I will announce it on Facebook now that we have announced our new title and everything. This Friday, we are going to be starting the official Code 2050 playtest. This will be run by me. Dad will be one of the players in it, as well as pretty much the rest of my family, as it turns out. I realize too that demographically this may be the most female-heavy game of D&D I've ever seen. Because it's going to be you and 4 women, so that'll be kind of awesome, actually.
You should try living here.
I did live there. I'm good, thanks.
Oh, that's great.
So, yes, so we will be starting hopefully 8:30, but maybe as late as 9 and going for a few hours, EST PM on Friday. We're going to try to stick to like an every other week kind of schedule on that. But if you tune in, you can watch, first of all, you can watch me run a game. Second of all, you can watch us play 2050. You can offer any feedback on that. We're going to be seeing how things work. We're going to be changing shit on the fly. If things don't work out, we'll change it and try again. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. You're a paladin for that, Dad, right?
I am indeed, yes.
So
sad paladin.
Sad paladin, yes. So one of the things I said to Dad was he's not allowed to take control of the party for 2 reasons. One, if he's in charge, it's not a good playtest because he already knows everything. And 2, I want everyone to have fun, and no one in that house has fun when Dad takes charge.
No. Not even me.
Not even you. That's exactly right. So yes, he'll be an introspective paladin, which will be good times.
Will be different.
But I mean, and not just the computer rules. Although my sister did say she wanted to play a hacker, but not just the computer rules. There's going to be some backgrounds. The setting's going to be the setting that we're going to use for Core 2050. The core rulebook for Code 2050. There's going to be guns, vehicles, modern combat, drones, sick robot human bodies. It's going to be good times.
I just thought of a really cool logo for Core 2050. I'll tell you later.
Yeah, you can tell me in just a few minutes here. So look forward to that on Friday. Do you have anything else you want to talk about here, Dad? We're a little over time, but not critically.
Yeah, a little bit. So yeah, briefly, and we have consistently encouraged people, everyone to let us know what you think. So the rules for the hacker are out there, the archetype. The rules for the steps for hacking are out there. A lot of the supporting kind of equipment and so on and so forth rules are out there. If you are trying this and something goes horribly awry, please let us know. Yeah, we appreciate every bit of feedback, especially if it keeps us from tripping over our own dicks. Down the road.
I mean, at this point, the only big section I still want to crank out is the thing on drones. The
vehicles, yeah.
I would say 80%, if not more, of our primary rules are out there waiting to be tested. So please, by all means, if you go out to our SRD, which is on the site, the rules are there. Play them. You don't have to run whole campaigns, although that would be awesome. Just throw some combats together. What happens when a paladin with a shotgun goes up against 6 or 7 goblins? What does that look like?
Ooh, a paladin with a shotgun. Oh, what a great idea! Take gun.
Oh yeah, tomorrow I'm going up to my dad's to solidify everyone's character sheets, so they'll be figuring out which guns they want. But yeah, I mean, how does a ranger with a sniper rifle work? Like, that sounds badass. It's got to be pretty cool. So these are the things that we're only 2 dudes. I'm going to start one playtest on Friday. I have another playtest in October. We're going to be playing.
We are exceptional dudes.
Hey man, come on. We got to be at least a little modest. Let's say extraordinary.
All right.
But good playtesting happens in exceedingly high numbers, and those are the opportunities that we just don't have with just the 2 of us. So please play this. In fact, I'll even say this: I've got an extra 100 and some odd patches. If you
better bring some up tomorrow.
Yeah. No, I got you. If you do some playtesting and just give me some feedback. Give me your address. I'll send you a patch. They're cheap, and I can send them regular mail. So as long as you're in the States. If you're not out of the States, sorry. I'll send you a good. I'll send you a good vector of it. You can print your own.
International mail isn't too expensive. You remember I mail those watches internationally.
Oh, that's true. So yeah, please, let us know what you think. Let us know how your playtests go. Try it out. Tear it apart. Put it back together. Tell us what's awesome. And we will love you forever.
What is not? Yeah.
If you make, what, I'll even say if you contribute some significant feedback and changes to this, we'll put you in the credits once we print the book. I mean, that's easy enough. So.
Yep. And absolutely.
All right. Anything else?
Immortalized.
Yes, immortalized in this clearly foundational piece of writing. We might go into the Library of Congress with this book.
I want to go on the next Voyager disc.
Yeah. The next Voyager disc is going to be Pharrell Williams' entire discography and Code 2050 core rulebook.
Done.
Yeah, it's just a naked picture of Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson.
I don't think we should shoot that in space then.
Well, it's going to be public record. Everyone will get a copy.
Awesome. So are we going over to thing now?
Yeah, if you want to say your goodbyes, and I'll log us out of here for the UpTub video.
So hey, yeah, thanks for coming, both of you.
It looks like my wife and Don. Yay, Don!
Oh, Don, thank you. Our biggest fan. Not even any Jason this week.
No, I guess he's busy. Which is too bad, because his article is like the most popular thing that's ever hit our site.
I know, crazy.
So, yeah, say goodbye there, Dad, so I can log this off.
All right, bye, thanks.
So we'll see you later. Again, come check us out, legendarypants.net. You can actually come to legendarypants.com now, but it just goes back to legendarypants.net. We're on Facebook, Legendary Pants, Twitch, Legendary_Pants, YouTube at Legendary_Pants, Twitter, Legendary_Pants. At this point, if you type Legendary Pants into Google, we're on like the first page. We're number 3 or 4 on there. We're getting better. Probably after like Dockers or some shit. So come check us out. Come give us some love on Facebook. Shoot me an email at contact@legendarypants.net if you ever want to talk to me directly. And we'll see you out there. Happy playing.